Alright, welcome back. This is the Seth Rhodes Show. So I had this thought earlier about your future self and how your future self doesn't want to pay for your mistakes you're making today. It can sound a little harsh, maybe a lot harsh, but look at it this way. Your future self has, we'll just put this out here for a teaser. Okay, this is a hypothetical person, but it could be you. And if it's not you, well, just enjoy the humor of it because it's not you, right? This is me, but parts of it are mean, parts of it are hypothetical. Future you doesn't want to pay for your credit card bills today. Future you has more kids. Future you has more inflation. Future you is a little tireder. Future you is definitely wiser. And future you would say, don't do it. Future you would say, if you use a credit card for emergency today, you probably have to use a credit card for emergency tomorrow. And the sum of your emergency uses of your credit card, if you're prone to more emergencies, adds up to a lot. And you know, a few grand here, a few grand there. It's one thing when that's a very, very small part of your income. When that's a disproportionately large part of your income, it adds up a lot. And before you know it, the teaser rate's over and you're paying a lot to just keep the balance down. You're not erasing the balance. Some months you're not making progress towards the balance. But all that is to say, your future self says, hey, I'm a little tireder, but I'm a little wiser. Don't take away my future by spending today what you really don't have to spend. A true emergency will take money that you really, really, really didn't know you had and really didn't want to spend, unless, of course, you're ready for it. So one great way to get around this is to, yes, make more money, yes, save money, yes, have an emergency fund, yes, but also figure out how close you are to the line of what an actual emergency is. You'll find that most things are not actual emergencies. The loss of your car to drive to work seems like an emergency, but these days, almost every scenario, there's a way for you to get to work. Almost every scenario. You will have to be humble, you will have to beg rides, you will have to scramble, you will have to borrow cars. It's not fun, especially if you do it twice in a short amount of time. But that will keep you out of debt longer. So that's like a silver bullet for staying out of debt. Like, hey, if I don't have a ride, I'll bum rides and I will make it right. Now that's really hard, but it is better than $5,000 in debt for a car that doesn't hold its value. Now $5,000 can get you a great car at times, but in an emergency, it doesn't get you a great car, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work out. One emergency tends to snowball into another. Let's think of some other emergencies. You're on the road. This is kind of wandering now, but you're on the road. You need to buy some food for your kids, or you need to buy some food for yourself. And you have a choice between $12 at a fast food place for an adult meal, or about $8 or $9 at the grocery store. Grocery store is way better food for you, even when it's processed. Almost always better than the fast food stuff. It's gonna vary product to product, but fast food stuff is the lowest grade, right? Store-bought stuff is still terrible, but it at least is a price discount, and almost always a little bit of health discount too. You're getting a little bit more actual food for your buck, especially if you have a bigger or higher quality grocery store to shop at. But even a Walmart that has a grocery section will have some stuff that's not terrible for you. So that's a win right there. But it'll feel like an emergency. Why? Because the kid will be crying in the back seat. You'll have a headache, a stress headache, and it'll be really hard to make that decision to get the cheaper, better food. But here you go. You could do a third option, whereas you get a little bit of food at the fast food place, and you get to your destination, and you figure out yet another meal. You end up spending more money overall, but you don't spend nearly as much money towards terrible food, the fast food. So that's another option. Let's think of some other non-emergencies that come up. Most emergencies I've experienced were health emergencies. So if something comes up, you need to get help with your health. And it's really difficult because the rest of life grinds to a halt. But I would still say a credit card is too easy. It's too easy most of the time. Your health might be driving you nuts, but instead of using the credit card to get in to see a doctor, I guess maybe another way to look at it. Sure, use the credit card to get in and see the doctor and set up your appointment. I still think that's too fast and too easy, but your health is so critical. A lot of times you just can't function. You can't hold a job, you can't parent your kids, you can't love your spouse until you get that health emergency dealt with. In our case, it was like we needed some occupational therapy. You gotta start it. But here's the big but. When it comes to round 2, second appointment, you space that baby out while you come up with a way to pay down initial debt. It's tough, but a credit card won't help you here. The moment you use your credit card twice on emergency is the moment you are not making payments on your balance. You are probably heading for $5 or $6 grand in debt, and you really don't need to do that. Take it from me, that's my experience. 2,000 or 3,000 in debt is way better than 5 or 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10. The amount of payments you have to make to keep your debt at a certain level, it's kind of crazy, right? Because you're paying like 25% interest monthly on the balance to keep at the same level. And 25% of $100 is rough. 25% of $10,000, yes, you got it, not good. So that's what I would tell you, is do your future self a break. Your future self will be wiser, but not necessarily more energetic or have more time. So if you can cut out debt payments and the time and resources needed to do that, your future self will be very grateful. And who knows, maybe you have more energy, maybe you have more money, maybe you have a bunch more resources, but at the very least, you don't put yourself behind the 8 ball. So that's my advice to younger me for older me.